It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on a chilly, windy day here in Central Virginia. As a matter of fact, it's kind of howling outside right now, so you might actually hear the wind blowing because this mic will pick up just about anything. But anyway, it's blowing pretty good here. A lot of rain yesterday, last evening, some pretty heavy storms. But, we were expecting it. So I do have a guest today who's not with us yet. So I'm going to go on and continue, and hopefully she'll be here directly. So, all right. Today is National Pumpkin Day. Now, I was a little bit surprised at this one. I'm thinking, Pumpkin Day should be Thanksgiving. But no, the National Pumpkin Day is today, which of course is just before Halloween. So I can understand that. But I would think because of the pumpkin pie situation and all that business for Thanksgiving that it would be closer to Thanksgiving. So, but then that's just me. So, cruise ship sailing today. We only have one actually sailing today, so this is a light day. That's down in Miami. The Celebrity Summit is living on a 4-nighter. In the news today, RIC dissipates completely. CDC modifies and extends the Conditional Sailing Order. And then hopefully we're going to have a report from Sharyn Bovat on Scarlet Lady and other ships that she's been on recently. And lots more live at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, getting down to the business at hand, Elizabeth on Location has actually sent us a couple things. One, today is a first for Cozumel. The Scarlet Lady, which is going to be interesting because we're going to be talking about her sometime during the show. The Scarlet Lady is in Cozumel for the first time. As a matter of fact, that's at the, I'll say it wrong, Langostino Pier is the Scarlet Lady, and one of the Holland American ships. I'm not sure which one it is. I didn't look that up because this is literally, folks, this is live right off the press. I've just had this picture for like the last minute, maybe 2 minutes. And this is out on the main thoroughfare. The taxis are lined up all the way from Punta Langosta Pier, there we go, to 30th Avenue for the Scarlet Lady. They're letting some of the crew off, not all of them, but maybe a couple hundred of the crew members are going to be off today. I think Carnival let some off. So this is a big day for Cozumel. They have 5 ships today. So it's a first big time day they've had since way back when. So, all right. This is your port of the day, folks. For those of you that are in the chat room and would like to take a guess, there it is. So, take a good look, make your guesses in the chat room, and I will get over there to check on them at some point in time. Not sure when, but sometime we will do that. Okay, why is that not working? All right. All right. I see quite a few people are here. So anyway, you guys can take a guess on that one. It's not the clearest picture that we've had from Elizabeth on Location. And by the way, Elizabeth on Location today, she's actually has a project in mind as she hopes to maybe get to interview some of the guests on board. So, all right, we got to look at the weather now, folks. This is a little bit offsetting. The remnants of RIC have completely dissipated. It didn't last long. It delivered a pretty good punch. But this actual center of what's left is about 25 miles southeast of Guadalajara. Maximum sustained winds have decreased to less than 25 miles an hour. An additional weakening is expected today. Pressure is up to 1,010 now. Rains associated with Rick will continue to spread across Mexican states of Guerrero and Michoacan through parts of today and this evening. Very slight chance of producing any further flooding or mudslides, but a chance. The troubling thing is the deepening non-tropical low pressure system with gale force winds. It's located about 400 miles east-northeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. The area is forecast to move north-northeastward today and could acquire some limited subtropical characteristics before it merges with a frontal system by late this afternoon. The low is then expected to meander off to the mid-Atlantic and northeast of the U.S. coastline tonight and Wednesday, bringing rain and wind impacts to the eastern seaboard. After that time, the low is expected to move eastward away from the U.S. coast and could acquire some subtropical characteristics while it moves eastward and southeastward over warmer waters of the central Atlantic. Formation chance within the next 48 hours is low, 20%, not to be worried that much about, but the next 5 days, it's 50%. So that's definitely one that we have to watch over as we continue on. Okay, Sharyn's with us now, so let's go. I'm going to bring Sharyn in. We got to make sure we got a stream real quick. Good morning, Sharyn. How are you?
I am really good. I'm
okay.
Rested and ready to talk about Virgin.
All right, got several questions for you. You have been on 3 cruises since you were on Carnival Mardi Gras. Mm-hmm. You were on Celebrity Edge with Captain Kate.
Yes.
And now Virgin Voyages.
Correct. Okay. And I was on the 3rd or 4th cruise of every ship. So they had a chance to kind of do a shakedown before I boarded.
Okay. Let's do some comparisons with the 3. Compare the embarkation procedures of the 3. Testing,
Celebrity
protocols, everything.
Okay, so Celebrity, I actually boarded without having to test. It was before they made that requirement. Mm-hmm. Hi, Captain Kate. Can't wait to see you on Beyond. Yeah. But it was the smoothest. You showed up at your time. If you showed up early, you couldn't board the ship. So there were people that had to wait 2-3 hours, but it was because they thought they could just walk on board. And even if you were elite, you couldn't do that. But I showed up at my time, which was 2. I walked right on board. From getting to the port to getting into my cabin, probably 17 minutes.
Wow.
It was like the seas parted and I just walked. It was great. Now, Mardi Gras there was the only time where you could not social distance. Everybody showed up. They let people board. And my time was 11:30. And it seemed like 90% of the ship arrived at 11:30. And when I talked to the people at Carnival, they said, well, this is what people are used to. And, but you know what? It was, when I look back on it, it was so new into the restart of cruising. Oh, my God, my favorite cruise director, the Flying Scotsman, Chris Williams. He's awesome. Yep. You need to get him on your show.
I'd love to.
He is amazing. Yes, I think you will, because you know what? What I loved about him is that he brought everybody on the boat together. He made an effort that if you were traveling alone, you did not feel like you were traveling alone. He, to me, provided the best experience as far as onboard communications and onboard entertainment.
Nice.
But then, but the embarkation was a zoo. But when you got on the ship, I mean, everybody went to Guy's Burgers or, Shaq's Chicken. So the deal was you kind of had to hold off on that and go get a taco and, enjoy the others later. But I think Carnival was going at 70%, whereas Celebrity was only at 40%. So there was a big difference. But when you look, I had a spa cabin, and when I looked at like the prices, if you were looking at the retail price of Celebrity, of Carnival, because I had an upgraded cabin with thermal, and Virgin, they were all basically near the same price point. Because on Virgin, I did have an inside cabin, and that kind of kept me on the same price point.
Okay. By the way, just so you'll know, I've actually been chatting with Captain Kate.
Really?
And, yeah. I am trying to put a deal together to be on the Beyond's inaugural sailing from Southampton. So I'm hoping to go over there for the first sailing of Celebrity Beyond. And I'm hopefully going to have a little cocktail party the night before for all of my friends over there in UK.
Well, can the people from America fly over and go to your party?
Sure, if you want to. Once we get there, if I get it all done. Anyway.
No, it's like when you go on a ship, you always meet one or two people that stick with you.
Yeah.
And Chris Williams and Captain Kate, they did it to me. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah.
Well, I was surprised when I sent Captain Kate a message that she responded back. I thought she just ignored the old fat guy, but she didn't. So actually, I'm hoping that we can hook up a time for an interview. Now she's in between her vacation and now having to go back to work to be over there and with the final construction phase. So, and I'm sure she's got to put her crew together and all the things that a captain has to do, which we don't know anything about. But anyway, she's been on holiday, and now she's in the process of somewhere between Las Vegas, where she lives, and getting over to the shipyard.
Well, Captain Kate is like a hands-on captain, not just at the bridge, but she went to the shows, she went to the shop, she made sure that everybody on that ship did their job and it was customer focused. Yeah. It was good. She was excellent. And I think the captains on all the ships were good because the ships are afloat. So yeah.
All right. And then of course you went on Scarlet Lady. So how was that for disembarking?
Oh, for embarkation. For embarkation, it was odd. You had to go, they said it was Terminal F, but then you had to go to this other building, which I believe was Terminal G or like a side part. So you showed up, then you had to walk someplace and get your COVID test. They did on-site COVID testing.
Okay.
And so it was very odd. And then I actually showed up and I didn't have a mask on me. And I'm like, uh-oh. Because I remember seeing no mask on the ship. I'm living in Florida. Right now, I'm living in Florida. And I'm like, but you know what? They gave me a mask. I was able to go get my COVID test. And then I had to walk back to the other terminal. And the whole process took about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I got there late. I intentionally got there at 2:00 because my time said 2. Other people that waited and complained, they all tried to get in earlier, but the funny thing is now Virgin is saying the earliest boarding is going to be at 2:00, and I think it's because I didn't have to leave the boat till 10:30 in the morning. Yeah. You party so much at night, you can't kick people off the boat at 8 a.m. I mean, and my God, Virgin offered breakfast, they did everything. So I believe they're still tweaking the embarkation process, but the COVID test, because not only did you have to get tested, which was free, you had to wait for your results. But you did a lot of traveling, you got a lot of exercise. So Virgin's into exercise and they give it to you even before you board.
Of course, with me, I'll be running the hell out of the scooter.
And you know what? And they do have scooter parking. I actually asked about scooters. And if you go to where the inside cabins are, even if you're at a balcony, they have areas that are wide enough that you could park your scooter and nobody would take your scooter because where would it go?
Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Now, of course, with the big fat guy like me, always got to talk about food. Let's compare the three overall with food?
Okay, best casual dining winner, hands down, Carnival.
Okay.
Carnival had Guy's Burgers, they had Shaq's Chicken. Everything was done. You could customize it. Awesome. The non-buffet buffet at Virgin, excellent quality food. Actually, I'm going to make a big confession. And if you ever have anybody at Virgin on, they might want to send me a bill. This is a bento box that the sushi and the fruit came in. They individually, they did grab and
Wow.
goes. And it was such good quality. And I needed something for my cords.
Yeah.
When I packed up, I'm like, I'm taking one. So I probably owe Virgin $1. So I'm sorry. I stole a plastic box, but it's perfect. And if I were Virgin, I would put your logo on them and sell them at the shop.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
So the food on Virgin, I mean, you would go to the galley and it was, I mean, the crew ate with the passengers, everybody was intermingled. And I love that because you knew the food was going to be safe because heck, the crew was eating it too. Right. And you sat at big tables and they had small tables, but family style dining if you wanted it, but you picked up your food for the grab and go. But if you wanted to just go get a sandwich at the beginning of the ship, when I aborted, I was starving and I couldn't get anything to eat. And I was like really upset. And I went on Twitter. I said, you had to wait for somebody to come up to you. You could not go and order a sandwich. You had to wait till someone came up to you or used your phone with a QR code, right? So here you are, and I'm in my 50s, and I didn't have my magnifying glasses, and I was like, but they explained it to me. And then the very next day, they said, okay, you can go order it now yourself. So victory for the old people. But the QR code thing drove me nuts because, when you need glasses to read, and even when you saw the picture, it was in such small print, and then you're trying to magnify it. And then when you magnify it, and if the lighting was dim, it was nuts. But the food quality, exceptional. The only thing that I would say about the galley is that every little kiosk or individual non-buffet, which really looked like a buffet, but every little one had different and odd hours. Like I went for breakfast at 10:30 in the morning and I was craving fresh fruit. I could not get fresh fruit. And I was like, why can't I get fresh fruit? And they're like, that is only available until 10:30 and you have arrived too late, but you have 22 minutes and then you can get it at lunch. I'm like, okay. So they advertised 24/7, but not for fruit. But 24/7 was really the what do you call it? The diner. So you could get an omelet, you get a burger. I don't eat red meat, so it made it kind of a challenge, but it was fine. The quality was insane. They had tacos that were. This was funny. It was either swordfish, pork, or fried avocado. Now, I just wanted chicken. Oh, no, they didn't have just chicken. I mean, no, I actually told them and they listened. I said, you need a plain Jane option. They had an option if you wanted to spend a few extra dollars to upgrade your meal. No, I wanted an option of less spice. And because everything was done to be very, very good quality, but very unique. And they were almost competing with each other to be who could be the most unique. Sometimes you just want food. Yeah. But celebrity for my demographic, amazing. It would be that near the spa, they had all these areas that were open and you could quickly get it, but it was custom. Whereas on Virgin, a lot of it could not be custom because it was preset in a grab and go meal. And even the paninis were already made. They just had to heat them up. And it was funny because I got a panini at Carnival and they custom did it for me because I wanted a Reuben, but with turkey. And it was like awesome. It was so good. It was a turkey Reuben and they had but they could not customize my panini on Virgin because when I asked for it, they just looked at me and they go, this is the choice. I'm like, no, but I want this on this and this, and it was too confusing. But see, this crew they're fairly new, so I don't, Americans have a very different set of taste. Our taste buds are different, so they're figuring it all out. But the quality and the desserts were to die for. I mean, Virgin but the sit down dining, I have to say, Carnival came in third. And Celebrity and Virgin were tied because Virgin gave me the most amazing dining experiences, but Celebrity gave me the most consistent. And I actually left feeling full after a Celebrity dinner. But after a Virgin dinner, I had to go up to the galley and snag a couple snacks.
Okay.
And that's because the food was so, like, at the Mexican restaurant, I just said, I just want the chicken enchiladas. I'm not that hungry. And the waiter looked at me, he's like, please order more. I'm like, okay. So the enchiladas were like 2 little flour tortillas, and then they had some meat, but the whole serving size was the palm of my hand, nothing else, right? Just the 2 little enchiladas, but they were perfect. They were the best chicken enchiladas I've ever had. And this is at Pink. I can't pronounce it, but
Yeah.
they were insane. But to fill me up, I would have needed 3 or 4 orders. But I did get the guacamole. It was fresh guacamole, very little bowl. And then the guy was so cute. I ordered some street corn, and he like tripled up on my street corn. And then he brought me some peanuts to eat too. I mean, it was just so cute because the crew knew that the portions are really small, but aesthetically, it was probably the most beautiful food that. The only time I saw something similar was on a Renaissance cruise, but this was way back before in the 2000. Yeah. It was just very fancy, but because they made everything in the restaurants to order. Yes. Gun Bai, I think that was my first restaurant. That was the Korean barbecue. Yeah. That was every restaurant had like different management, and they had different seating protocols. At one restaurant, it was really funny. They put the cool people in the front of the restaurant, and you kind of knew you're standing in life when you were ushered to the back. And I was in spinster row or whatever. I mean, everybody was a single lady with a table of 2, boom, 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 boom. And they couldn't group us together, maybe because of COVID or because of the timing. But it was, as a solo traveler, it was fairly odd. And that was at the Italian restaurant. But at the Gun By, they let me sit with these 2 couples, and we were playing drinking games, and I won. Very cool. I won I guess I can hold my liquor better than others, but otherwise I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, that was my next question. I know you're like me. You will have an adult beverage or 2 when you're on a cruise.
Maybe 4.
Let's compare the 3 ships and the whole booze package, whether it's drink packages, prices, quality, selection, whatever. Give me a rundown of the 3 ships and how they do in the booze category.
Okay. On Carnival, I paid for the Cheers package as part of like a $600 credit I had because of the cancellations. And it was $400 something, and I only drank $300 worth of booze, but I drank as much as I wanted. So I am not a Carnival beverage. From now on, I will pay by drink. But the quality on Carnival, it was typical. It was typical cruise booze. If you wanted to get trashed, you got trashed. But Celebrity, oh my God. I love Macallan. I only like to have 2, but I was able to upgrade my drink package for like $10, $11 a day and get unlimited cappuccinos, espressos. They had a morning drink with Macallan espresso and some funky juice. And it was just 2 or 3 beverages. Plus, the basic drink package was included. The basic drink package did not include things like bottled water. I had sparkling water. So I really feel like the upgrade on Celebrity, which probably cost me, because they put the booze in the package, I'm thinking it was about $50 to $75 a day. I felt like I got my money's worth because the quality was exceptional. And I have my quirks. And if I saw a drink and I didn't like this, they would actually like negotiate with me of what they could put instead of, and then they would make me custom drinks. And Celebrity took the time to accommodate my taste. Carnival, everything was like pre-mixed, but it was a drink and it was good. And if it's a hot day and you want your Bahama Mama, you got your Bahama Mama. Now, there was a shortage of banana daiquiris on Carnival. Not too happy about that because that's my fave. But Virgin, the drinks, a Heineken was only $5. So if you just drank beer, you're fine. $5 a beer, no big deal. But when you get into the shots or the specialty drinks, we're talking upwards $15. The thing is that there's no tip option. You can't tip. So your tip is already included in a Virgin cruise. Whereas if I got a drink on any other ship and I didn't have a package, I might get 12, but I might tip $2 or $3. So it was basically the same.
Yeah. Because what I generally do, of course, I'm a bourbon guy primarily. And I drink my bourbon with Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, whichever I have. So that's simple. And then I'll have, I have to worry about my vegetable level. So I got to make sure that I have a Bloody Mary in the morning, or maybe two after breakfast. And usually that's in the hot tub. Well, and then I will occasionally have a pina colada.
I think we're the same kind of drinker. I just like one drink in the morning just to help me chill. And then after that, it all depends too of who I'm around. If I meet people that are fun at a bar, I might stick around for half a day. Yeah. And it's funny because when I take Norwegian, which I'm taking next month, there's always, I don't like to get the drink package, but sometimes I get it if that promotion is good. But people with the drink package are like, can I get you a drink? Because they have this package and they just want to share. So, I mean, the most I've ever drank on a Norwegian cruise is when I didn't have the drink package, which was crazy. Because once people know you don't have the package, they feel like they paid for something and they want to get their money's worth, even if they're not the ones drinking it. But on Virgin, soda was free. So, and the biggest, but you had to go kind of, the waiters at the restaurant, they were really easy with the soda. They kind of wanted you to buy one of their drinks. But if you ordered room service, it was free if you paid for one $5 item. And soda was actually free. So I would order my breakfast, pay $5 for fresh squeezed orange juice, and then order 2 or 3 cans of free soda. So the only way to get soda in the can was to get it through room service. So I would spend $5, but I would get like ginger ale, Coke, Diet Coke. They thought I was probably the strangest room service order ever. Yeah. But every day they would deliver my pastry, my coffee, my juice, and all my sodas. And so it's really a good Virgin hack, because sometimes you don't want to have to go up to the buffet or the non-buffet to get your soda, because that's where the sodas flowed. It was exactly, oddly, like Disney Cruise Line. Disney has a part of the ship that has all the free soda, and that's near their cabanas buffet. And Virgin was set up pretty much the same way. And but as a drinker, the Virgin drinks were very exotic. Whereas the Celebrity, if you wanted an old fashioned or just your bourbon and soda, that's what they gave you on Celebrity. They didn't try to, make you go like fancy.
Do a fancy. Okay. All right. Compare the swimming pools, because I know there's been a lot of controversy over a Virgin swimming pool because of the size.
Well, I think Virgin size matters. I sound like, I mean, the pool did not, the pool was, the music at the pool was so loud, I didn't want to be there. Okay. I mean, it's like, if I wanted to look at men in Speedos, that are very happy, prancing around like peacocks, I would hang out at the Virgin pool. But the pool was an extension of the nightclub. There was no TV over the pool. It was really people watching, and the people watching was like being in Europe. I actually felt, and they had an area where you could, so not only could you see it was then they had an area where you could tan your tits. Okay, I better say that different. Tan your tatas. They had a topless deck, which I never went to, but evidently it does exist. So, I mean, they really want people that want to see that. And I just really didn't want to see that. And then they had a hot tub area where it was 2 hot tubs and then this pool. But the passengers, what we did is we kind of used it and we circled it as a pool because there was not really a pool. It was like the big pool. Most of it is just a little shallow area where beautiful people could lounge. And they would hold up their drinks and they're just, it was really like being in the middle of a photo shoot. It was just beautiful. And I think as it gets back into it, when in the winter season, you're going to see a lot of very fashionable people just lounging by the pool. There were no swimmers, but the pool, and they had these beds, and I told Virgin, you need to have movies under the stars, because the beds were so comfortable, and the only time I could enjoy them was at night. So a few of us would just go there, and it was calm at night. The music was downstairs in the disco, so you could go and look at the stars, but it would have been really cool to see a movie. And being Virgin, they could have done an R-rated movie. So I think that there were no sports. So there were people that were very upset. They had no sports on the television or available. So people actually, the streaming on the Wi-Fi was so good, people actually were downloading apps and then buying the football games that they wanted to see. So I think that people need to be aware that there really isn't any sports watching. But the pool, I mean, I got to tell you, I'm glad I saw it once. It was just like, but it was surreal because I am 56 and I never thought I was old until I got on a Virgin cruise. And I always felt like I'm young but they're saying that they want all or people that are young at heart. I'm young at heart, but maybe I'm too much of a prude. But you know what? I enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the staff. I enjoyed the quality of the food. But if they had like a zone for like old people that wanted quiet, I would be there like a serenity deck. They needed a serenity deck. That's what they needed. But Celebrity, they have too many pools. Celebrity has that beautiful solarium pool. They've got a main. I think that the perfect balance is Celebrity. And I think that the serenity deck on Carnival, I will never turn down a Carnival cruise because of that serenity deck.
Okay. Speaking of Carnival, you rode the boat.
I love the boat.
That's awesome.
It was $15. It was fun. It was worth it. Then they charge you for the picture. So it's really a $40 experience. But it's something that when you finished it, you had a little bit of a high feeling. It was really cool because you did the boat and then you just had to soak it in. I mean, if I would do it one more time if I could get a GoPro, okay? And then strap it on me so I could do that. They actually made me sign a waiver because I was wearing a halter swimsuit top and they were afraid that it would fall off and that pictures of me topless would have been out there. And I'm like, huh? And they actually suggested I go back to my cabin. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'll just tie the knot really tight. But evidently they have had issues of women with these, halter tops where
they fly off on the, it's awesome.
I mean, it's wild. And the funny thing is that, they got waivers for everything these days, right? So I truly think that it would be fun if, I didn't have to wait in a line because it was only at $70. A lot of people didn't want to spend the money, which I thought was odd. It's like, why would you not spend $15? It would be fun. Royal Caribbean used to have all their things be free, but now their skydive, they're starting to charge. So you're starting to see that the days of free activities are dwindling.
Between the three, did you feel unsafe on any of them, or were you pretty comfortable with their protocols, generally speaking? I mean, I realize you can always get in a clump of people that you're not expecting and nobody masked or something. I'm talking about
You're talking about COVID. Or you're talking about COVID. Okay. Yeah. In reference to COVID, Carnival, I did not feel safe on embarkation. I talked to people at the, they do this amazing celebration for vets, and people weren't wearing masks inside. And it was so funny because so many people on Carnival are former military. And these special forces guys are like, we're going to fix this. And so basically they made an effort. And these are passengers of Carnival, because the crew, they just want you happy. They want their tips. But the people, they kind of took over. And if you were on the elevator and didn't have your mask on, they said, mask up, mask up. And it was the other passengers telling the young people, it was more the young people that didn't want a mask. And the only thing, and eventually we kind of created our own space. The ship Mardi Gras is so big, you could kind of choose your area. And I just went to like-minded areas on the Mardi Gras, and I felt fine. I was always social distancing, at the restaurants too. It was like halfway into the cruise, it was like, it clicked. It's like, create an area for people that want to party and have the carnival of their dreams, the same carnival experience. Woo-hoo! But at the same time, accommodate the people that want a little bit of distance. And they did the first half of my carnival trip was a bit, the second half was awesome. So the problem is that Carnival cruisers will never wait until it's their time to board. They've always gotten to the port early and got on that shit because they want to start their vacation. But Celebrity, it was Captain Kate ran a tight ship, and she did it in a fun way. She made these great announcements, whereas Carnival, once it kind of got out of control, you would hear these bizarre announcements on the overcome. Please wear your mask. Please wear your mask. I mean, it was like they were nervous. So they would see things, then they were like, please. So the protocols on Carnival were like this, whereas on Celebrity, it was smooth sailing. But, that is a crowd. If you look at the Celebrity crowd, it's an older crowd, people that are much more, they fear COVID. So I think everybody adjusts. Now, I did not wear a mask when I was on Celebrity. On Carnival, you were supposed to wear a mask. I wore a mask when I was inside. I did not wear one outside. Nobody had to outside. And but sometimes you were outside, and I mean, it was packed. It was packed. But and then on Virgin, nobody had to wear a mask except for the crew. And, I just feel like you have to go with an open mind. Like, I have told friends that the Mardi Gras was an amazing experience, but I did not go to the main theater. I only went to shows in the atrium because it felt, the air was like circulating really good. The theater, like when they did the Family Feud, the whole theater was packed. Whereas you never felt that on Virgin. You did, but the shows were all in venues that only had 200 or 300 people. Virgin, but everybody was tested at the pier, which makes a difference because you will test positive 2 or 3 days after being exposed. And so if you test 2 or 3 days before your cruise, you could be on an airplane, you could be at Disney World before you hop on a ship, and you could catch COVID. But also, Florida, the numbers have dropped 80%. So I do believe that right now is a good time. If you were nervous about cruising, it's time to put your toe back, onto a ship. Yeah. Because these ships need you. The ships need to stay. They need the revenue, and you can feel it. But what I appreciated about all cruise lines is they did not cut back on quality. In fact, they improved quality because now they're fighting. They know that you're willing to go on a cruise. That means you'll come back. Yeah. They want you.
All right. Well, we've used up the time that I have allotted, and I have about 55 more questions. So we'll have to do this again sometime soon.
But it was awesome.
I need to go take care of the main story for today because that's a pretty big story. And
what's the story today?
CDC Conditional Sailing Order.
Is it removed?
It's extended.
Okay, let's get rid of me and do the main story. And Chillie, I'm staying. Okay, I'm just going to get off this app so I can just go to chill. But thank you. Do the story. That's crazy.
All right.
Thank you, Chillie.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for giving us some nice comparisons. Enjoyed it.
I enjoyed all 3 cruises.
Okay.
Yes. Have a
Talk
great
to you
day.
soon.
Bye.
All right. Now, let's get to the main story. Actually, it's the only story today. It's because it's a biggie. It's absolutely the biggie, and that, of course, is the CDC. So, the conditional sail order was extended yesterday. Some of you may have already heard this. It was after my show yesterday, and matter of fact, I didn't hear about it myself until last evening, because I came back from therapy yesterday and crashed, quite frankly. I worked my butt off. But anyway, the CDC is extending the conditional sail order to January 15th with some minor modifications. So, folks, it's going to be here for a while, and that make it even further. Cruise lines will have to continue to follow the guidelines and requirements. However, with several cruise lines already extending their own protocols into next year, there are some areas that just are not going to seem like it's much of a change. The extension will remain in effect until the expiration of the Secretary of Health and Human Services declaration that COVID-19 constitution a public health emergency. That's not going to happen. The CDC rescinds or modifies the order based on specific public health or other consideration. That's not likely to happen. Or January the 15th of 2022. I feel sure you can count on the conditional sailing order to be here until then. A statement from the CDC said after the expiration of the temporary extension and modification of the CSO, the CDC intends to transition to a voluntary program in coordination with cruise ship operators and other stakeholders to assist the cruise ship industry to detect, mitigate, and control the spread of COVID-19 on board cruise ships. The CDC does not view this temporary extension as imposing any new burdens or obligations on cruise ship operators when compared to the previous CSO. Cruise Line International, that's CLIA, that's all the cruise lines representatives get together and form this association. The CLIA said the CSO changes show the Biden administration and the CDC recognize the cruise industry's successful resumption of operations, adding, "We look forward to demonstrating the industry's continued leadership in the final phase of the CSO and to carry out a smooth transition when the order comes to an end January 15th. So, folks, what's that saying? It's going to continue on pretty much as it is now until January 15th, and then it's going to become voluntary on the cruise lines. The CDC said there's continued need for public health management to mitigate the risk of COVID-19 on cruise ships, even with the high vaccination rates among crew and passengers between June 26th and October 21st. Catch those dates, folks. Between June 26th and October 21st. That was 5 days ago. There have been 1,359 laboratory confirmed cases reported to the agency by cruise ships following the CSO. I didn't know any of this. I mean, we've known of some cases, but we didn't know that how much the cruise lines were directly inputting the information to the CDC. Apparently a lot more than we thought to have numbers like that. Many of the ships resumed passenger operations along the rise of the Delta variant, and while there have been cases on board, the CDC appears to be comfortable that the right controls are in place. That's been my position all along. Yes, we're going to have COVID and probably going to have COVID well into the future, but the protocols, if they're done properly, balance that out and make a safe experience for all of us. One change in the extended order is that ships operating with 95% of crew and passengers fully vaccinated may transition to fewer than 95% vaccinated passengers without first conducting a simulated voyage with several provisions. Now, remember, folks, it was one thing for Norwegian to say everybody has to be vaccinated. Carnival says 90 Wow. Whew. I hope you're still with me, because I think I'm back live now. Just everything went. The signal. I don't know if it's, where's that coming from? I don't I don't know where that is coming from. I heard myself again. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if that was weather related, but my signal just went. Everything went. So I'm not even sure where I was. I think I had pretty much finished the story on the CDC. It's been extended and it's going to be with us. And then it's after January, it's going to be a voluntary basis on the cruise lines. And apparently the cruise lines are in total agreement with the package. They're going to continue working like they have with the CDC and continue on. So that's the bottom line take on it. Again, let me run through here. Glad I don't have to rely on CBS, which does not promise a return in time frame needed. Oh yeah, for the testing. Jack's with us. Bonnie's with us. Hi, y'all. The picture. Oh yeah, the picture does not ring any bells. Tom Henry guessed Kate of Spain. That's incorrect. Jack's a little under the weather. Breathing issues are worse. Sorry to hear that. Tom Henry says, I don't remember a small mountain at the airport. And somebody's dinging me in. We can't hear you, middle of the CDC part of the show. Yeah, I know. I think I'm back now, so I can be heard. So okay, so anyway, I'm back. I'm back. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, so I'm hoping that you can. That was a message from Elizabeth that finally came through. It looks like European because of the rocky beach, but where? That's you're getting warm, Gretchen. You are correct about that. Elizabeth said some writing on the wall of the photo will be a clue when you see the photo again. I was just shocked at how everyone was packed onto this rocky little strip of beach. And I will go flash that up again so you can have another look at it if you want to. Again, it's not the best picture in the world. It's obviously not the most beautiful beach in the world. And it's kind of a funky looking pier or boat or something in the background there. So I'll put that back up. Now let me come back to comments and see if anybody guessed it on down the way. Gretchen says, can't read the writing. Picture too fuzzy. Nikki's with us. Good morning, Chillie and gang. 1 week from today, we will drive down to Port Canaveral and hop on Mariner of the Seas for a short cruise. That's awesome, Nikki. Jack says hello to Sharyn. Bonnie says all those vloggers are on NCL breakaway, Sharyn at Sea Group Cruise from New York City to Bermuda. They might be getting wet and rocky and rolling in the weather. Yeah, that could be some really dicey sailing up that way this next 4 or 5 days because of the confluence of the weather patterns. So Tom Henry says, yep, rainy weather everywhere. Yesterday we had some good thunder booming last night, and even the port cams were dismal yesterday. Yeah, it was bad few days that we're going to go through with, all up and down the East Coast. Bonnie says she was supposed to cruise on Mariner of the Seas this past January, and that was one that didn't happen. Shoot, Sharon's gone. So Bonnie asked, and I slid through this and I missed the question. Did you have a sea terrace cabin? The desk in the cabin looks like an ironing board. I can't answer that one. I don't know. Bonnie. Maybe Sharyn will pop back in. Bonnie, thanks. We realize we live in Jacksonville, so close to Port Canaveral, but we had never cruised from there. So this cruise is an adventure. Man, that close and you've never been out of Port Canaveral? Wow. Well, that's cool. And I'm gonna be playing with you every day on the cruise. I promise you. I'm gonna be looking for pictures and looking for everything else, so we can live through it with you. Bonnie says she used to cruise from Port Canaveral often, short Carnival cruises. Would drive north from where I live, but since I stopped driving, haven't been there. Emily's with us. She says, "Morning, gang. Had a great cruise. Nikki, we had 2 cruises on Mariner canceled." Bonnie says, 2 years ago, I was supposed to do a Halloween cruise out of Jacksonville, but I got sick and my doctor wouldn't let me travel. Had my hotel reservations and my costume ready. Emily had a big power outage. We're lucky we did not lose power here, which was a luck because it was close, the storm. So my drink of choice, Irish whiskey with a single ice cube. I can go right along with you on that one, Jack. I'll be right with you. I prefer bourbon, but I'll drink a little Irish whiskey too. Gretchen says, I need my coffees, my Pellegrino on vacation. I'm not opposed to a fancy drink. I always get the packages. Let's see here. Gretchen says, usually you can have any wine by the glass up to, say, $15 per glass champagne. Depends on the wine. I guess it's something like 14 drinks per day. I don't think you'll ever have to worry. Bonnie says, I might have one virgin strawberry daiquiri usually on private island day. I don't drink. Although I used to like Irish coffee in the evening on Alaska cruises. Yeah, I've been known to have a little Irish coffee too. Gretchen says, Jack, I'm going to try your drink in December. You've convinced me. Okay, let's see. This is Elizabeth says she didn't feel safe on Carnival embarkation because people had no mask, but she didn't wear on embarkation of Virgin. Yeah, well, I guess the protocols were just different on all of them. But anyway, I tried not to let things get too controversial over that. So we'll see. I'm still, by the way, Shane was from Virgin Voyages was going to be on Cruise Amigos this coming Sunday. He sent me a message this morning. He didn't realize that was Halloween. So he's now taking the next Sunday. So Shane won't be on Cruise Amigos till the 7th, the day we change clocks. That'll be confusing because I think Great Britain changes clocks different than we do. And I'll always screw that up. Elizabeth says, Princess was my first cruise line. Love Princess. Princess proud. Let's see. Princess loves Cozumel. I used to go to Cozumel and Cancun all the time on Princess cruises. Yeah, Bonnie's real big on Princess. Elizabeth says, one of my best friends is Shorex manager on Sky Princess until 11th of December. What happened? No sound. That's when I went dead. Chillie Cruises, what did you say? No sound. Chillie Cruises, no sound. Princess has some fantastic shore excursions. What's a shore ex-manager, Elizabeth? I don't know if she saw that or not. Where's Chillie on excursions? Yeah. We're looking forward to this guy. Okay, Nikki Scott. I don't know I wonder if we got back to where I came back on. Not usually, but opposed to it. You get some deals along the way. My cruises are planned far in advance to add one from ship cruise offers. Is Chillie going to return? Chillie, please come back. Wonder if he knows he's not on. Yeah, I was trying to get back on. Sky Princess, everybody just continued on here. Sound is back. Okay. All right. Jack says the sound is back. So if you guys stuck with me to the end, you made it to the end. Oh, well, I apologize for that, folks. That one wasn't me screwing up. That was just everything went out from under me. So anyway, that's going to wrap me up for today. Somebody else is messaging me. Sound kept going off and screen froze. Yep, I know. That was my Wi-Fi signal, which could be because of weather, because the wind has been blowing, literally howling around here. So, all right, that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. Again, CDC, we've wondered what was going to happen, and they're going to continue pretty much like they are now. There's some minor changes. And then it's going to become voluntary. And I think the cruise lines are going to go totally the same way they have. And of course, then we still don't know what the Florida issue with the lawsuit and Texas filing lawsuit and all that kind of crap that still has to be decided. But I think the cruise lines pretty much want to go and do what the CDC recommends because it's working. And it's shown that when they get a little lazy, they pay for it. So anyway, that's going to be it. All right. That's going to wrap me up for today. Again, thanks for Sharyn for joining us and giving us a little bit of the comparing of 3 cruises that she's been on recently. I do appreciate that, the effort. So I will be back tomorrow, folks. Same time, same channel, 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the latest travel and cruise industry news. Tomorrow, of course, being Wednesday. So you guys all have a terrific day. I will see you soon. This is the old fat travel guy. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, have a great day. Elizabeth, I hope you meet lots of crew members down there in Cozumel today. And the people in Cozumel have a wonderful day with the 5 ships in port. I'll talk to you tomorrow, guys. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.